Am I the asshole? Most of you probably know about the Reddit subreddit Am I the Asshole, aka AITA, which is essentially an opportunity for people to post stories of theirs that have happened in their life to get people's opinion about whether or not they acted badly, the person that they're dealing with acted badly, or in some cases, everyone sucks, which is actually literally the phrase they use. We were going to go into directly Am I the Asshole, but I thought that we'd slim it down a little bit, streamline it, just like filter it down just a little bit. And we're going to look at r/AITA_relationships, which is more focused on relationships versus anything else. If we happen to find only a few interesting ones, then we'll go back to the other subreddit. So in the meantime, let's just have a look at what's currently hot, shall we? Number one, this is from only an hour ago. Am I the asshole for contacting my wife's married boss after he sent her a sexually suggestive message at work? My wife, female, 55, works at a large bank. Her boss, mid-50s, male, sent her a sexually suggestive message. My wife acted like it was no big deal. I, 60, male, got angry and ultimately contacted her boss, myself, and now my wife is super pissed at me. Here's the story. I'd like to know, am I the asshole? Okay. So far, first of all, I'm always like amazed to know that there are like these like super scandalous like boss-colleague relationships. People fantasize about like having their boss hit on them for like forever, right? I mean, unfortunately, I'm one of those people. I obviously would never act on it, but that being said, it's like, I just get creepy vibes. Like most bosses are generally speaking, not people that you want to be flirting with, okay? It's not my fault I had a dream about him. Anyway, after a vacation trip to New Orleans a while back, my wife's married male boss sent her a message asking if she had earned her beads in New Orleans. If you don't know what this means, he was asking her if she had bared her breasts in public in an attempt to get free beads from fellow party people. He knows she is married. Wait, is that it? Okay. He asked her if she flashed in public. I don't know if this is like a common thing in New Orleans, maybe. I don't know. My wife has workaholic tendencies. We have had a lot of fights over the years about her putting work before her family, and we still do. We've been seeing a marriage counselor to deal with that. So her ultimate reaction to this message and to my reaction to it fell right into the problem area. Okay. I mean, yeah, if they've been together a long time and they're this sort of age, then I kind of get it. I'm married. I've been married for 4 years. I've been with the same person for a long time. So I have like a level of experience. It's super important to continue to like reassess how your marriage is going. Like, you know, your problems can evolve over time. If you've been together ages, sometimes going to a marriage counselor is not the worst thing in the world. Okay. I'm only saying this because I've done it before and it's pretty good. It's pretty healthy and it was really worthwhile. It's a little stressful, but therapy is always stressful. I asked her if she was going to say something to her boss. You know, hey, this is unacceptable. Please don't do it again. Or otherwise let him know that she didn't appreciate the message. She refused, acting like it was no big deal, saying that she knows her boss was just joking and I should just get over it. Okay, it's fine. He's wording it in such a way. We're not necessarily there. It's always the case with this. It's one side. I had a couple of problems with that. First, she can't know what he thinks without asking him. Well, I don't know about that. If you know someone well, I don't know. Sometimes you just trust her. It's fine. Second, who cares what he was thinking? The message is borderline sexual harassment, and if I did that where I work, I'd be disciplined or fired on the spot. Third, we have 2 daughters who we've taught to never tolerate that kind of treatment. So why would my wife suddenly think it's okay? What kind of example is she setting for our daughter by not addressing it with her boss? I mean, okay. What if he was asking it in a really, really like light-hearted way? You know, what if he was just being like, I don't know. I kind of get it. I think it's really borderline. Like, he's not propositioning her, but he is asking about like flashing her boobs, and boobs obviously inherently like a sexual thing. It's dodgy and probably inappropriate, but it's hard because like when you're in a work situation, it's always really scary having to confront someone that is a superior to you. I think in an ideal world, we would want all women to stick up for themselves when they're being even remotely hit on, even slightly, and just be like, let's not make jokes about my boobs, shall we? There's like this mindset that we women have, which is we just want to avoid conflict, and like the idea of like it potentially getting ugly is always possible, and it just makes life harder at work. So sometimes it's just like, oh, just brush it off and just move on. But now he's creating stress because he's a little insecure. He's frustrated with her. He's frustrated with her for not sticking up for himself, and he's making out like, you're not setting an example for our kids. But I think it's more just he's worried. He's worried that she likes it. I'm gonna guess. Anyway, let's continue. For quite some time, I tried explaining all that to her. I tried explaining how this felt like so many other instances of her putting work ahead of family. I was flabbergasted that she thought there was nothing wrong with her married male boss sending her a sexually suggestive message, but she refused to hear anything I had to say, still claiming she knew that her boss didn't mean anything by it, and I'm inclined to agree with her. We went back and forth for a while, and it finally became a big enough argument between us we had to bring it to our marriage counselor. After hearing both sides of the story, even the marriage counselor said it was unacceptable behavior by her boss. Okay. Well, if the marriage counselor said it wasn't acceptable behavior, then chances are there was probably a lot more context, a lot more talking, and, you know, this is... So potentially I might be wrong. I think that what he's doing is not okay. I think that the boss said is obviously not okay. How much of a big deal is it for the wife to do something about it is the trouble. Unfortunately, my wife doubled down on her argument that I was the one with the problem and that I should just let it go. She continued to refuse to say anything to him, now saying that she'd be embarrassed and humiliated at work if she did. My response was, that's exactly what a perpetrator wants. He wants to scare you into silence. This is exactly the kind of crap we taught our daughters to fight. But my wife has a long-time habit of making up her mind about something and refusing to listen to anything that doesn't agree with her decision, and it was on full display here. I don't know. It's really hard. It's really hard. It's just... I just have the benefit of being a woman, and ultimately, like, our experiences are just, we just don't want to go through the stress of it. The going through the stress of having to argue with something when it's not like a continuous problem. If it's just like this one single, like, not the nicest, not the best comment, but it's otherwise kind of harmless. She would have to be doing this for him. She would have to be sticking up for herself, but she's doing it for him, not for her. She might choose to just like, I don't need this. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't change how things are at work. But then equally, it's like, do you want him to continue to behave this way? Do you want him to continue to perpetuate this behavior? If there's no noticeable pattern, then it's probably fine. Like, if he kept doing it, if he like actively was advancing on her and sending her like constant messages, that's obviously a problem. It just seems like a joke. I don't know. Am I getting old-fashioned? Shit. So after literally months and months of beating my head against this and trying to convince my wife her boss needed to at least be told the message was unacceptable, I finally gave up and emailed him myself. I told him what he did was unprofessional and unacceptable, and if it happened again, I'd be contacting the bank's senior management to file a formal complaint. So now, of course, my wife is super pissed at me because I have humiliated her at work, and she's embarrassed now to show her face in the office. I just don't get it. I feel like I'm being made out to be the bad guy just because I wanted her boss to be held accountable for his unacceptable behavior. Did I go too far by contacting her boss? Am I the asshole? The answer's yes, buddy. The answer's... Why would he get involved? It's her work. I can understand him feeling like a frustrated husband who's like, she doesn't listen to me. She doesn't understand. I feel hurt and she's not taking me seriously. I can understand all those feelings, and it's a shame that she didn't try to at least like understand that, but it's really important that he just let her manage things. Months and months of trying to convince her. My God, that sounds like a him problem to me. Shall we read what the comments say? Someone said, literally 43 minutes ago, honestly a little, the whole post you bring up several of your wife's flaws, workaholic, stubborn, she refuses to listen, yet you never mention what your flaws are that brought you into this state of tension. So I feel like maybe you're not seeing your part in this, or you're not seeing things from her point of view. I'm not intending to judge your marriage at all. I just simply mean to say maybe look at things from her perspective. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that from what I can tell, yeah, like, okay, it all kind of sucks. She probably ought to be a better role model for her kids, but then equally it's like some battles are not worth fighting, and in this case I don't know if this one's worth fighting. It's not like this boss has a pattern of sexually suggestive messages. It really feels like this was a fairly harmless comment. Not great, not good, definitely sexually charged, but like, it's not like it's just, I don't know. It's really tough, but I would say, yes, don't get yourself involved. It's not your boss. It's not your place. She didn't want you doing this and you went behind her back. So as far as I'm concerned, he's the asshole. Okay, moving on. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend because he got a birthday gift for his girl BSF? Girl best friend? Is that what that means? I, 21 female, broke up with my 21 male boyfriend because he got a birthday gift for his girl best friend. We're both students and always broke by the end of the month, so I didn't mind that he didn't get me a gift on my birthday until it was the next month, and he got a gift for his girl best friend on her birthday. I don't know if I'm being petty and insecure, but it broke my heart. Did I overreact? God, that sucks. God, that sucks. No, you're not the asshole. What is wrong with him? He chose not to get you a birthday gift, but then got his girl best friend a birthday gift? Just fucking date her instead then, you asshole. Okay, moving on. Am I the asshole for being in love? Am I the asshole for being in love? What the heck is this? I, 21 female, have recently been watching the hit show Impractical Jokers with my girlfriend, 26F, every night before bed. I've always had a liking towards Mur, as I find him the funniest and most handsome. Nothing serious, he's just my favourite joker. Well, we were watching the episode where he has to get a prostate exam in front of a crowd, and I joking said, I wish that was my finger. My girlfriend's mannerisms immediately changed and she turned over and went silent. When I asked her what was wrong, she responded extremely angrily, saying that I shouldn't make comments like that about anyone, even if they're a celebrity. I laughed, thinking maybe, just maybe, she was being sarcastic, and said, honey, I'm a lesbian. You know it doesn't mean anything to me. She rolled her eyes and told me she's sick of me making jokes about James Murray. The next day, we were about to go to bed and I grabbed the remote and click on HBO Max. About to start Impractical Jokers like always. This time, Mur lost, and his punishment was to get oiled up, wearing an American flag thong, and do various acts told to him by the others. She asked me a question. I was absolutely mesmerized by Mur's shiny bod. What? I responded, not taking my loving gaze off of the television screen. Are you fucking kidding me? She said, storming out of the room. At this point, I knew she was angry with me, but I didn't care. These feelings grew and grew inside my bones, and while she was enraged, storming out of the room, I took it upon myself to print several photos of Mur, tape them above our toilet, and tape them above our... A few hours later, I heard a scream of pure terror, so I got up and walked towards it. Why was she screaming? Because of the shrine. This was the last straw that broke the camel's back. She was livid. Since then, she's been staying at her mother's house and not answering any of my phone calls or texts. She's been telling everybody that I'm a horrible girlfriend, and she even posted about me on Reddit. Am I the arsehole? Literally, everyone is saying you're the arsehole. I don't even know what to say about this other than just, that's wild. A whole shrine, dude. Are you okay? This has to be a joke post. All right, what else is there? What is this? Am I the arsehole for thinking about divorcing my husband for cheating on me with cake? Okay. I, female 32 years old, just found out that my husband, male 31 of 3 years, has been cheating on me, and I don't know how long. The past few months have been pretty rocky for us. I struggle with my mental health and I'm diagnosed with depression, and I take medication for it. Sometimes I feel off and go through periods of time where I'm not exactly myself. I'm not rude or mean, just out of sorts. But my husband has always complained about this, not in a toxic way, or so I thought. He just always said he felt disconnected from me during these periods of time. I'd been going through one of those times, but my husband seemed much more content with it this time. I thought that it was because he was beginning to understand that it wasn't because of him, but just because I'm struggling with difficult thoughts. But one night, I'm scared. But one night, while we were in bed, my husband went to take a shower, and I begrudgingly decided to snoop on his phone. I felt so bad at it that I let my intrusive thoughts get the best of me. To my surprise, I found an interesting name in his Snapchat conversations. Cake. It's pretty normal to give people nicknames on Snapchat, so I didn't panic at first. But the Bitmoji was a woman. I went through their chat and most of it was empty, except for a chat saved that had an address number. I looked up the address and it was an apartment building about 20 minutes away from us. This stayed on my mind for the entire next day. I tried to brush it off and told myself I was overreacting, but I couldn't. So I ended up going to the address and knocking on the door. To my surprise, Cake was the name of a woman he had been hiring to have some fun with behind my back. I was crushed. I couldn't believe my husband had done that to me. I went home and waited for him to get back from work, and when he did, I confronted him. It went something along the lines of me screaming at him for fucking some random girl named Cake. He told me that I hadn't been as loving to him, and he was feeling lonely and vulnerable. I'm crushed. I'm writing this while sitting in the bathroom. I told my husband to go stay with his friends while I figure out what to do. I do feel bad for not being as loving, but really? Cake? A girl named Cake? I just don't know what to do. I don't know how long this has been going on. I tried to ask the girl about it. She brushed it off as something that happens a lot with a lot of people. Should I divorce him? Am I the asshole for this? Please help. What the hell? Why is this on this? Why is this on I am the asshole at all? Why hasn't somebody told them? What the fuck do you think? Going to a fucking Reddit page to be like, am I the arsehole because I want to divorce my husband for cheating on me? Why would that make you an arsehole? You feel cheated on. You've been cheated on. Generally speaking, most people are monogamous. If you guys didn't agree to having like secret flings together, which is basically everybody, then yes, generally speaking, a reason to divorce someone is because they cheated on you. Why are you going to I am the asshole? You're just doing it for validation. Of course you're not an asshole for wanting to divorce him. What a fucking waste of my time. God, I'm gonna go to a goddamn different page than this. Generally speaking, you break people's trust when you cheat on them, and normally that's enough reason to divorce. But also, it's totally fine if you want to work through it. Maybe you can work it out. We're going back to I am the asshole. We're going to see if we can find something better than this. Here's a good one. 3 hours ago. Am I the asshole for telling my wife the tiramisu was too expensive? Yesterday, my wife didn't get a job she really wanted. She has a job at the moment, but wants to leave, and this was a great job for her that didn't work out. She loves tiramisu, so I wanted to get it for her to make her feel better. I looked at a few places, and one of them was highly rated, but it was like $30 for it. I found another place where it was $15, and it was great. She loved it. Later last night, I said, oh, I was actually going to order from that other place, but it was like $30, which is so expensive. She didn't say anything to that, but this morning called me an arsehole and said that statement ruined it for her. She said it made her feel small, like she's not even worth $30 to me. I tried to explain that's not what I meant. It was more of a, can you believe how expensive some places have got? Was I the asshole? Okay, interesting. I need to think about this. So the husband bought his wife some tiramisu, and originally he'd looked at a place and went, $30? Let's see if I can get it cheaper. Oh, this one's $15. That's a bit better. And then he felt the need to explain to him, oh, I was going to get it from this place, but it was like $30. That's like really crazy expensive. So I got you the cheaper one instead. Oh, I kind of am inclined to maybe slightly agree with her. I think that depends on your like relationship with somebody. If you know somebody who's like a little sensitive, I don't mean that like in a bad way. I think it's totally fine. I'm sensitive. And you're like, oh, I got you this, but I didn't bother getting you that one because it's too expensive. It's just like one of those needless things to say. What was the point? Like, it's not adding any value to the conversation. If his intention was to be like, wow, how crazy is it that you can get tiramisu, but it costs $30? That's crazy. So I went and got you this $15 one instead, which is much more reasonable. It's tricky because it's like, cool, you're trying to connect, but was it really worth it that you decided to not get the more expensive one in order to treat your wife? And like at the end of the day, she got delicious tiramisu. So in essence, she should be grateful, but we're humans, we're complicated creatures. I can see why she would be upset. I think that it's not that big of a deal. And I think that he is not exactly like, it's just not a necessary thing to say. I think it's fine that he chose to get $15 tiramisu. It was sweet that he did it at all. But then he didn't need to say that he nearly got the more expensive one, but didn't want to spend that much. And let's be honest, all things considered, $30 for some people isn't that much. It's probably too expensive for tiramisu. Who really needs tiramisu that badly? Jesus Christ. This one looks juicy. Am I the asshole for telling my son to pay back the money he spent on his online girlfriend? I, a 45-year-old male, have a son, 16-year-old male, that loves to play video games. I purchased him a PlayStation 5 for his birthday last year, and he plays online with his friends. He's been telling me that he has been chatting online with a girl, 15 years old, female, and they have slowly started dating. They don't talk over the microphone as hers broke, and he has no idea what she looks like. I told him to be careful on what he sends her and to not give her any personal information. Oh no, oh no, oh no. My son has his own credit card with a limit on it, and I told him to not go over the limit and only to use it in emergencies. I got the credit card bill for this month, and there were charges repeatedly for the game he plays, in charges of $50 to $100. I was furious, as he gets gift cards for the games for his birthday and Christmas. I approached him with the bill and asked him what the charges were. He told me that his girlfriend wanted new stuff for the game and would break up with him if he didn't purchase them. I told him that I would pay the charges and that he would have to pay me back the money. I told him there were many jobs that would hire him. He got angry with me that he wouldn't have time to work as he plays sports and school. I told him that if he was able to balance working and school, he would have no problem doing it. I took his credit card away. He's not speaking to me now, only if it's in regards to being picked up or needing a ride to see his friends. He's mad that I'm making him pay the money back and get a job. Am I the asshole for telling my son to pay back the money he spent on his online girlfriend? Ugh. I don't think that he's an asshole for getting his son try to pay back the money. Oh, it's hard. Like, why are you giving your 16-year-old son a credit card? Like, he doesn't have a way to pay off the credit card, so why are you giving him an option to have a credit card in the first place? That was a huge mistake. Why would you give your kid, who has no idea how, like, the value of money and everything, and is not even a literal adult yet, why would you give them a credit card if they can't pay it off? Okay, let's just agree, like, okay, fine. You give your son this credit card and he's not allowed to go over the limits and he's using it for emergencies, blah, blah, blah. And there's just all these bills. Obviously, he's paid it. Obviously, it's fine. And now he's asking him to pay it back because he's the one that spent that money. But it's like, I don't know, like, he's a child. Oh, I'm getting like so stressed. I'm getting stressed for the dad that you can't have like a normal conversation about like boundaries and about earning your way and like working for a living and like like getting a job, getting work experience and all that stuff is like super important. Like, so it's not that big of a deal to go get a job. He's also trying to teach him integrity. With all due respect, whether or not he's going through like issues where he's being threatened by whoever this person he's talking to online, I think it's okay to be like, hey son, do you want to talk about it? I think it's important for you to learn that if you're gonna muck up things with your credit card, you gotta pay it back. I just think that there might be a middle ground maybe. You want to teach your son good rules and you want to teach your son boundaries, you want to teach your son responsibilities, but then what about just like allowing them to grow and allowing them to learn from their mistakes? But it really does sound like the son doesn't care. Yeah, you know what? Like, there's a part of me that's like, I don't want to be empathetic towards this literal child. What a dumbass. Pay your goddamn dad back, you ungrateful shit. God, I hate teenagers. Am I the asshole for cheating my coworker out of a free meal? I'm not sure what this one's about. Just got a lot of upvotes for the last 12 hours. I, 28-year-old male, work with this woman, Lydia, 24-year-old female, who has a very annoying habit. She has a dating profile that she uses specifically to lure guys to buying her expensive dinners at restaurants she wants to try and then ghosts them. Lydia brags about this all the time and is never interested in actual dating, but she'll act like it to sell it. I can't stand this because it's playing with people's hearts, but Lydia thinks of it as a life hack to try food or drinks she otherwise couldn't afford. My friend Daniel, 32-year-old male, is also on dating sites, but for the right reasons. His late wife died a few years ago, and he's just started jumping back into the dating scene. Daniel's a sweet guy, and I really want him to find a great lady for him. A few days ago, he texted me asking if I knew Lydia. They matched and got to talking about work, which is how we found out we worked at the same place. I told him all about Lydia's BS with the restaurant thing. I made it very clear to him he would do best to drop things with her early on. Daniel said he'd probably still do the date but ask for separate checks. Well, they went out this past weekend, and on Monday, Lydia came into work very upset. I asked her how her date with Daniel went, and she ripped into me, asking if I was the one who told him not to pay for her dinner. Apparently, she had Daniel take her to a high-end steakhouse, and she ended up splurging. She got a drink, a full entree with a side, and a dessert, where Daniel just ordered a sandwich and salad. Her bill alone came to $70-something, and she was almost in tears at work as she didn't expect to pay for it, and now her car was low on gas. I got a little upset too as she tried to use my friend as a literal meal ticket. Somehow she doesn't see it that way. Daniel told me later that the date was going kind of well until he asked for separate checks, and then Lydia just got weirdly cold. And now Lydia's mad at me because I told someone about her little tactic and it backfired on her. I don't feel like I did anything wrong since it was a grieving friend I was protecting, but some of the people we work with said I should have stayed out of it because it was none of my business. Oh, come on! Good for you. What a total bitch. She bought a drink, an entree, a side, and a dessert. My God. My God, that is so funny. Oh no, your stupid little cheating. Oh my God, that's so, my God, my justice boner. My justice boner is so happy about it. Oh, it's so, your colleagues, okay? Yeah, sure, it's none of their business, but like, you know, Daniel, and he directly asked you about it, and this feels like real justice. I don't give a shit. This is amazing. So I'm so happy this happened. She can cry all she likes. She can't pay for gas. Maybe she shouldn't be going to a fucking steakhouse dinner and expecting the guy to pay for every goddamn meal. God damn, it's 2024. You gotta at least go Dutch sometimes, love. You're a piece of shit. Justice boner. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there because that was a really good one to end on. But if you've enjoyed the video, please leave a comment down below and hit the like button. It will really help. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, 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 bye.